Hello everybody, I am the Revenant Theorist, and in today's video we are going to be breaking down the trailer for Revenant by Sling Studios. This game is basically like a zombie game set, I believe, a camp, and it was created by developer David Haynes, and he is only 16 years old, so let's see, how much potential this game has. This first watch through, I'm going to just let it play, and then the next time I'm going to point out things that I see. Alright, let's get started.
It's often that the problems humans face are those created in the pursuit of advancement. What presents itself as a biological salvation may truly be the end of man as we know it. Camp Hope was supposed to be an escape from the world, but nature persists, and the world found its way here. All who remain are forced to walk with all who don't. Fighting to stay alive in fear of becoming what they oppose. Man's greatest sin wasn't creating death, it was trying to escape it. And now we live among the godless mistake of man, that which came after death. The Revenant.
Alright, coming 2026, wishlist now. I have it wishlist now. I'll leave the Steam page, in the description below. Alright, so let's analyze this trailer is the first thing. I've written some things down on a Google Doc. So let's see. So the first thing we see here is this biological hazard sign and this restricted area, and it's just like, it's just this lab. I don't know what more you want me to say. It's a laboratory. And then this guy right here, he's got a test tube with what looks to be some sort of substance inside it. Got gloves on, not really much protective gear besides the gloves and mask, so that leads me to believe whatever he's working on isn't, or he doesn't think it's that important. Alright, this box here, medical sample. So they received some sort of medical sample, but what I think is more important is this Revenant Labs sticker right here. This Revenant Labs sticker, I believe, is heavily important in the lore of this game because the skull here implies that whatever Revenant Labs was not a very, like, good company. I feel like this is some foreshadowing here. Also, it being a laboratory named after the title of the game. Let's listen back to what the person's saying here.
It's often that the problems humans face are those created in the pursuit of advancement.
So the narrator, humans create problems in the pursuit of advancement. This it could be a hint about the origin of the virus because it states that humans create their own problems. So that man right there could have created it for all we know. But we just know that this was a man-made virus, and whatever it was being created for was to pursue advancement of humanity. So let's see what else happens.
What presents itself as a biological salvation may truly be the end of man as we know it.
So biological salvation and is the end of man as we know it. So this implies that they were looking for something, they were researching for something, and it backfired on them, and it could very well be the end of man. So this is ravaging humanity when it was supposed to be a salvation. Now let's look at this right here. Let's see, let's get a wide angle of it. Oops, accidentally. That's not great. Alright, so the forestry times you can't see because it's blocked up by YouTube or whatever. The forestry times, this implies that the settings of forest. This right here, I can't make out what it says. I want to say this is a date, 2020. I want to say that's 2025. But I can't be sure, and I don't know what this says. This looks like maybe a TH, like this is something TH. This, I want to say maybe the 30th. Maybe it's, I don't know what that one would be though. Maybe it's the 30th or something. It doesn't really, it doesn't really tell us what that is. But that's important. I didn't notice that when I was writing down my notes. Let's see. I'm writing this down now. 2025 newspaper. So that gives us a time frame. This is set in modern times based on that. Okay, so CDC investigating reports of bizarre and violent virus. That's pretty self-explanatory. The CDC is investigating this, but it calls it bizarre and violent. So, context clues. This isn't a normal virus, and it's violent. So that means it has strong effects and it's very contagious. And I'm not gonna read word for word what the newspaper says because I have stuff written down. But the government is trying to keep the public calm while the public anxiety is high, which means this is something people are worried about. And there are violent incidents that are linked to an aggressive viral strain that's designated Revita 4. So this is the name of the virus that causes zombies. Like this is the origin. It's from a virus designated Revita 4, and it's an aggressive viral strain. So viral, spreads through the air, highly aggressive. But the initial symptoms are similar to a highly contagious cold, like cough, fever, and acute fatigue. This is, whenever I analyze what the virus is, this is going to be very useful to understand what's happening here. Also, something more important is the initial outbreak seems to be from the three states that are Arizona, Florida, and New York. Now, I personally think that this game doesn't seem to take place in New York, right? I believe that this game has to either take place in Arizona and Florida, but I'm leaning towards Florida, but I'm not sure why. I just really don't think it's New York. And the CDC claims that outbreak is contained, but the law enforcement suggests that there is a quote terrifying progression in a small number of patients. So this implies that though a lot of people are infected, uh, there's a few certain people that have increased progression of the virus compared to others, but only a small number. And then it says witnesses from Miami and Phoenix report they snap into sudden fits of extreme feral aggression. That's contrary to what medical and police reports are saying. So witnesses, contrary to the medical people are saying it's contained, and the police reports are saying that there's just progressions in a few people. But witnesses from Miami and Phoenix say that they snap into fits of extreme feral aggression, which is contrary to the symptoms that we were told. But also, Miami and Phoenix being listed, but not New York, helps to back up that New York is not where the virus originated. It spread to New York, but that's not where it's from. Let's see. So, and then it says police in upstate New York locked down a small nursing facility after a mass casualty event. So, this is probably one of those incidents where multiple people became aggressive, and because of that, there were a few deaths. Which it says mass casualty event, but it's a small nursing facility, so I guess large number of deaths in retrospect to the rest of them that was caused by an infected resident, which resident singular means that it was just one person who became really aggressive and started killing everybody else, not a few people. So I was wrong. And then the county sheriff had refused to confirm these rumors, so they're still trying to keep the public like at bay, keep them in the dark, though they basically know it's happening. And we learned from this also that citizens are advised to stay aware and report any individual exhibiting flu like symptoms and erratic behavior to non emergency police lines. So, citizens are now being told that they have flu like symptoms instead of aggressive cold like symptoms, and also erratic behavior, which means like implies that the virus messes with your mind and causes you not to think straight. And also, it's being reported to non emergency police lines, so it's likely they're sending police to contain the virus. But the CDC states that there's no immediate threat to the public, but then it says at the bottom that they quietly doubled resources for the containment of Revita 4. So the virus, they doubled the resources trying to contain it. And looking at this image here, I actually can't really tell what that image is supposed to be, but in my notes I have the image appears to show a man in a gas mask restraining two people captioned, well, you can read the caption, photo of operation performed on one of the attackers in New York. So it says one, but this looks like another person. That might be because it says it one of the attackers, doesn't it? Photo information from one of the attackers. So maybe this is someone else restraining him. This gas mask could be that he's trying not to be infected, and this is a either medical or police person. And then Donald James, this is the first name drop we get of anybody so far, and he is the reporter reporting on this. So this, I don't know if it's going to be a major character, but it's just the first instance we know of someone being name dropped. Let's move on, shall we? In his pride, man tried to replicate God. So what I'm gathering from this is that there's a strong biblical connection of man trying to play God and man having, ambition for something that backfires. So that seems to be a theme here. Let's see.
Camp Hope was supposed
Camp Hope. This is what looks to be the setting.
to be an escape from the world.
An escape from
But
the
nature
world.
persists, and the world found its way here.
So nature persists and the world found its way here. This is implying that nature. So the disease, which I'm thinking is nature here, forced the world to like sort of collapse. Maybe a group of survivors is stationed here, and to conquer death and change mortality. So this this leads me to believe that Revenant Labs, the death skull, whatever symbol, means that they were trying to find a way to conquer death and to change mortality, which plays into the playing God role. And so maybe the zombies were some sort of experiment trying to, what do you call it? Test and see if it would make them, I guess, immortal. Let's see.
All who remain are
Revelation is coming. So that's another, biblical theme. If I can research more into that and see if there's any, like, thing that he's explicitly trying to tell us here, then I will make another video about that. But Revelation is coming. That is another biblical
forced to
reference.
walk.
This lamp right here in the setting leads me to believe this is some sort of like large cabin, and this may be an important space. Maybe it gets turned into a workbench, but this makes me believe we will be seeing this in game and playing here. And that blood stain on the wall, I didn't notice that in my first
All
watch
who
through,
remain are forced
but
to
there
walk
is a
with all
blood
who
stain
go.
on this wall right over here. So someone had to have died in here, fought in here, but we just know the infection's here. But now all that remains is a corpse of the truth. So this, like, corpse of the truth leads me to believe that the corpse of the truth implies that the truth is basically dead and buried, and it's our job to go dig it up, which could be our motivation
Fighting
for
to
playing
stay
the game, or our character's motivation, or also to stay alive, but still. So this looks like a cabin, and that looks like another cabin. This might be ours, like where we're staying in terms of trying to survive. This might be our shelter. There's another bloody handprint here.
In fear of
Oh,
becoming
okay.
like
So Camp Hope, 4 week. What does that say? 4 week term, June. So this might give us a time frame. We might be staying here when it breaks out in June. So that might be when this takes place. June 2025, maybe. See, Camp Hope, a lifetime of fun in one endless summer. I think this is contrary to what it says. I believe endless summer means that maybe Camp Hope was a testing ground for this virus. Like they were trying to test it on people at Camp Hope. Because it says a lifetime of fun in one endless summer. This might be grounds for a theory. This bottom part, I actually translated it. Trying to see where I put it, because I could barely read this. I had to see. So it says, get ready for an unforgettable summer filled with adventure, new friendships, and endless fun. And it also says lakes, transportation, water slide, and more. Not transportation, trampolines, water slides, and more. So this is setting up to mean, like, I feel like lakes, trampolines, and water slides are going to be sort of maybe obstacles or tools that we use in the game. And also, new friendships. Maybe we'll meet somebody else in this game. Maybe we're not the only survivor. Or maybe that's just nothing. Unforgettable summer, that's another, like, foreshadowing element, I believe, towards the sort of theory that Camp Hope had something to do with this outbreak. And you must dig it up, yeah. Cover that with the corpse of the truth. Man's greatest sin, this is obviously meant to represent Adam and Eve.
Wasn't creating death. It was trying to escape it.
Creating death, trying to escape death is what the theme is. So that's another biblical playing God theme. This right here, I'm gonna guess is our protagonist. Got black pack. He's got looks like he's got a beard. Can't really see his face here. He's got ears. Well, obviously he's got ears. Black hair, all black stuff. It doesn't look like, he was prepared to go to a summer camp. It looks like, honestly, he's preparing for winter. It's also awfully foggy here. So I believe maybe this guy wasn't an original camper and he stumbled on here and took shelter. Or maybe he's a counselor or some sort of important
Now we
person.
live among the
This looks like a zombie, or is obviously a zombie, but this is our first look at a zombie. Very tall zombie. It looks like his skin or their skin is gray, so either the virus grazed the skin
godless.
or he's been dead for a while. And it almost looks like he's got kind of claws here, like sharp. Maybe something sticking out. Actually, I think that's a leaf. We can't really see him well. He almost looks reflective and looks like almost breathing heavily.
That which came
It's
after
really hard to see. Oh, zooming in a little bit.
death.
Not really helping. Okay, so that's the zombie noise. Let's go back and analyze this zombie. It looks
That
like
which came
I don't see anything in the background. This looks like the focus of the scene. I don't see anything else. Let's see if I can get that frame. So makes a like screaming, gurgling noise. It's strange. It's like it's reflecting. Whatever that is. Looks like maybe a cut or a gash. The zombie is all banged up. And our protagonist doesn't seem to fear it. He's just kind of staring at it. I don't know what that means to imply. But yeah, that's the Revenant trailer. Revenant official announcement 2025 or 2025, but it's coming 2026. Wishlist now on Steam. In this video, or in the description of this video, I will leave a link to the Steam page and also the channel of the creator. But yeah, so based on this trailer, we get that man was trying to cheat death and create a sort of like, I guess, strain of virus that would help them accomplish this, but it went wrong and leaded to an outbreak that we hear the story of slowly developing, and it originates in Florida, Arizona, and New York. This could help us figure out where Camp Hope is in terms of, the story, geography, and also we think we have a date in June 2025. But yeah, this was my analysis breakdown, or initial breakdown of the trailer. I'm going to work on some more theories for this channel. And yeah, as we learn more about Revenant, we're going to start delving into the devlogs that the creators posted. I believe he's on day 11 now. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this initial breakthrough video, then make sure you like and subscribe. And if you notice something that I don't, please comment and let me know, because it'll help me go back and try to figure out, what's sort of happening here. But yeah, I'm the Revenant Theorizer, and this has been my first initial video, signing out.